All right, welcome. It's time for us to talk sports in the exciting world of long tennis, basketball, football, and any other sports in between. My name is Anthony Momodi. Welcome to today's edition. I'm not alone on today's drive where we take you around all the big stories making the rounds. I've got my partner, not in crime, but in sports. I've got Odi Samuel waiting in the wings, looking all brown color. What do you call this? Coffee brown?
Yeah, coffee brown.
So you feel like drinking coffee.
Cappuccino to be specific.
All right, nice studio. How's the Euros going?
Well, so far so good. It's going on well. Croatia played a draw. Germany, advanced 1-2-0.
First team
to get to the round of 16. Let's give it that. Let's give it to them. They are the hosts, and they are showing us the
but
reason
they deserve it.
Yes,
played well.
They played well, and they got a late goal, their second goal in, I think, towards the end of the second half, which was, very intense. It was a very, very close one. They almost played a draw, but they found the way they scaled through, and then crucial passes were made, good runs were made, and they were able to secure a second goal by, what was his name again? Juan Anguilla or something like that.
Musiala.
Yes, Musiala, who was able to, bang the goal home and then give them the win that they fought for, and then give their fans more bragging rights to, more things to always to talk about, as well as Croatia, who also secured a late goal in the stoppage time that made them play a 2-2 draw. So
with Albania.
Yeah, with Albania. So there's just so much going on. England, Southgate asking his superstars, his main players, not to pay attention to criticism coming on from fans and as well, sports analysts like us, and then just stay put and focus more on playing the game. So it's just so much packed from Euros.
All right, we're going to give you 30 minutes of non-stop action of big stories making the rounds, like he has already rolled it out, talking about the Euros. But let's begin from home, sweet home. Let's begin from the glass house. The Nigerian Football Federation is in the news this morning as the president of the Nigerian Football Federation, Alhaji Ibrahim Musa Gusau, will today at the NFF Secretariat Abuja inaugurate the Federation's Futsal and Beach Soccer Subcommittee. The committee has as chairman Otuakon Inse Esin, with the chairman of Nigerian Football, Alhaji Ahmed Yusuf Fresh is his nickname, as vice chairman. The members are Aminu Muhammad Inua, Honorable Suleiman Yaya Kwande, Alhaji Lamid Gafa, and Richard Jide Aka, and we've got Yagbaji Alhaji Baba Abubakar Umar Bade, a secretary. The Futsal and Beach Soccer Subcommittee is responsible for the organization of all futsal and beach soccer competitions and deals with all matters relating to futsal and beach soccer. Nigeria has been a continental and to some extent global power in beach soccer in previous years, with the Super Sand Eagles winning the Beach Soccer African Cup of Nations in 2007 and 2009 and reaching the quarterfinals of the FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup in Italy 13 years ago. Meanwhile, the Confederation of African Football last week conducted the draw for this year's Beach Soccer Africa Cup of Nations qualifying series, with the Super Sand Eagles drawn to play Mauritania at home and away next month. A total of 14 countries will be involved in the qualifiers, with the 7 winners to join host Egypt at the finals. That's talking about beach soccer and futsal. Futsal has to do with 5-a-side football played in an enclosed environment. That's what futsal represents. But for the Super Sand Eagles, who were winners in 2007, 2009, that did well at the FIFA Beach World Cup. Somewhere along the line, we lost grip and interest in beach football. But do you think this is the right time to reintroduce the subcommittees for beach ball when we are not even getting it right when it comes to the Super Eagles, the Golden Eagles, and the Flying Eagles? Probably the NFF have too much to chew.
I think there's no better time to do anything. I think the NFF going at this time now wanting to revive, and they're setting up a committee to handle the beach soccer. Yes, these guys have done well like the past 13 years. That was when they won, over a decade now. So it's been that aspect of sport in Nigeria has been, dormant for a very, very long time.
Wow.
So it's good that despite all the challenges and everything going on, they're trying to revive the beach soccer game, and as well advance since they've made it through. So now it's actually boils down to the NFF to like set up these committees and then follow up with the committees, and not just set up committees, give positions, and not follow up to get results back. So a whole lot of supervision needs to be done with the committees that has been set up to manage this beach soccer team. So everybody needs to like put their hands on deck. Yes, we are suffering. The Super Eagles are having their own challenges on the 17. All of them are having
Flying Eagles.
There's just so much going around negatively around the male football. Around the male football teams. So all of those now need to be corrected. The beach football game, now this committee that has been set aside should be able to look at what the problem is, why they were not able to qualify for the past 13 years after winning, and then get their acts back together, and then find their way to the top where they used to be. And then for the other aspect of the Super Eagles and then the Super Falcons, the Flying Eagles and every other team that has to do with the male football set, they need to find a way. For what NFF said earlier, they said they are going to get someone else who would probably take on Mr. Finidi George's role. So they should get us somebody so we can fight tooth and nail to see how the Super Eagles can qualify for the World Cup, because all of this is not looking good for the Super Eagles and Flying Eagles as well. So all these angles now, there are just a whole lot of challenges on the ground for NFF and the Super Eagles and the male football team in Nigeria. So they just need to do what they need to do to get the job done.
All right, we hope they'll get the job done, as the Super Sand Eagles needs to come back to reckoning. All right, from the Super Sand Eagles talking about beach football, let's go to the MPFL, where it's Doma United have a mountain to climb to escape relegation from the Nigerian Premier League Football League, following their 1-0 home defeat to Sunshine Stars of Akure in a rescheduled match day 36 at the Pantami Stadium, Gombe, on Wednesday. Sport Extra reports that the first half goal by Yusuf Ibrahim condemned the Savannah Tigers to their 16th defeat of the season, leaving them on 43 points and 18th on the table. Before the kickoff of Wednesday's match, they had been rocked by players' protest over unpaid 2-month salary and allowances, spelling more doom for their campaign. With that latest game of the season at home to Abia Warriors on Sunday, a win and 3 points might not be enough to save Doma's season. Above them in the relegation zone are fellow strugglers Sporting Lagos, Aqua United, both on 46 points, Bayelsa 47, after almost making the MPFL Super 6 playoff on their debut on the top flight last season. Doma had a strong start to life this season, ranking in the top 3 as at December 2023, but their fortunes began to dwindle in January, losing 12 matches plus 6 draws at just 3 wins. Do you think there's a way back for Doma United? We've got Bayelsa, also Sporting Lagos, all locked on 46 points and haven't lost yesterday. It looks like it's game over.
Well, for Doma United, they actually played so well yesterday to be able to, secure that win. If there's a chance, they need to just do more and then continue playing at that same pace that they did as yesterday. Then
they lost yesterday.
They lost
to Sunshine Stars.
They lost to Sunshine Stars.
So it's almost impossible.
Impossible. So they just need to see how they can salvage the moments this time around and then try to escape relegation. Because if not, if they go back, then they are going to find themselves in the NNL, which I'm sure they wouldn't want to. But at the end of the day, they just need to be more resilient and try to come out and then maybe get one win ahead. And then if they can do that, that might be their saving grace from escaping relegation.
All right, let's hope they get not relegated, but it's going to be a tough one because other teams, Bayelsa, Sporting, they're all seeking to escape relegation. So any of those teams winning might make it more difficult for Doma United. But it's very amazing. Doma, as of December, they were among top 3. Even earlier this year, they were still among the top 3, top 5, and suddenly they hit rock bottom. But the fact that their players are protesting 2 months' salary, do you think the issue of unpaid wages also did affect the team technically.
Of course, yes, it is going to have, it affects him, technically, because one, these players, have, aside from playing professionally for Doma United, they also have other challenges, maybe at home, that requires a whole lot, requires money to be sorted. And if they keep working and they don't get their bonuses and their pay, it's also going to, in a way, affect their performance, because they'll be like, okay, what am I actually going to gain at the end of the day? But this is where passion now comes into play, where you would, okay, even if this is not coming, because of the love I have for this sport, I'll just keep going. But at the end of the day, it still boils down to the resources that comes, because the resources that comes is under different, gives a different kind of motivation for them to like advance and then push more in to be able to perform better than they used to perform. So them not getting bonuses and salaries might be one of the reasons why they were not performing at the level they were performing at in early January and December.
All right, well said there. We hope all will be sorted out as they seek not to get relegated. All right, let's just move on to other stories making the rounds concerning Nigerian players, and we're still talking Arsenal. As Arsenal remain interested in signing Victor Osimhen, but they are willing to meet the 120 million euros release clause set by Napoli. Osimhen continues to be highly regarded as one of the top strikers in Europe, and Napoli set the release clause to protect his market value, anticipating high demand this summer. The striker has agreed with Napoli that he can leave if a suitable offer arrives, and he is now waiting for potential clubs to make the move. Arsenal is in search of a new striker, revealing that Osimhen as a very strong candidate after they failed in the attempt to prize away RB Leipzig Benjamin Sesko. However, according to a report, Calcio Napoli 24, Arsenal has no intention of paying the full release clause. They are prepared to offer £75 million to secure former lead striker. This amount represents their maximum offer. We talked about that yesterday, about Arsenal is going to the market pricing and letting someone else come by off the treasure. But for Osimhen, do you think £75 million is not a bad deal to pay for Osimhen to move?
I think it's a bad deal, because look at the quality that he has and what he brings to the table. You're getting a full-fledged striker that is going to be all out for you, not just scoring goals, but also running back to defend. So he has the quality. He's worth £100 million. But most of the times, if you look at this critically, most of these teams don't really like paying much for a black player. You got Declan Rice for 105 million euros, right? So why can't you pay that same amount for someone who you've seen results of what he can do? He'll help Napoli, win the championship for the first time since almost more than 10, 20 years ago.
We're talking about 30
years ago. So he was able to fight, and then, despite the fact that he suffered injuries this past season, he still put up a very good show, despite the fact that he was not on 100%. So he is worth £100 million. So if they really want him, if they are really looking for a very good striker that is going to bring in the qualities for them and then perform and give them results, then you spend the money. But if you're not willing to spend the money, you don't even go for him in the first place, and then allow those that would actually want to, pay what he's worth and then get him, and then he comes around and get the job done for them. At the end of the day, it boils down to Arsenal. If they really want him, fine, they can take him. But if they want someone they can groom and pay less for, then they can just sort out for other younger players who are just probably on loan somewhere, and then come and do try and error.
All right, we're hoping Osimhen obviously is what the 100 million euros have been asked for from Napoli. But the big question now is Osimhen, if he really wants to move to Arsenal and his agents are ready to move to Arsenal, they might have to push Napoli to accept the fee or decide to pay the difference in the fee, so that he can get his move, and hope that in future he's going to get his monies back somewhere when there's some other deals coming his way. But that's going to be a very tough one. That will depend on Osimhen and his agent. But do you think that's a good move if he decides to pay the difference?
I don't think.
And say, okay, I'll pay the 25,000 million euros difference between us and Napoli.
That is going to make him look so desperate, because Osimhen is a very, very great player. He's a good player. Even if Arsenal don't want to pay, maybe Chelsea might even come into the picture. Chelsea is still on the sideline waiting to see if they can.
Paris
Saint-Germain are still there. There are still other clubs now that we don't know of, that are probably in their back room having conversations of how to land him to their team. He is fed up. He is ready to leave Napoli. So I don't think he's going to do that, because one, he's a world-class player that other coaches will want them to be on his team. So they're making this offer, this like the first offer they are making. So let's see what happens in the coming days. I don't think him paying the deficit of £25 million is, it's worth it for him to do, because he has the quality, he has the value, and he's in his prime. So more teams would come for him. I believe so.
All right, let's leave Victor Osimhen and hope for the very best for him. Let's move on to the mixed martial art, where former UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya of Nigeria and New Zealand believes Robert Whittaker will get the job done against rising star Ikram Aliskerov. The Whittaker was supposed to fight Khamzat Chimaev. However, the UFC CEO Dana White recently informed the boss is out of the Saudi Arabian main event. White emphasized that Chimaev was ill and wished him a return to good health. Following the news, pictures have emerged on social media of the 30-year-old since he pulled out of the Whittaker contest. A member of the Chimaev's inner circle uploaded a picture on social media which appeared to show the boss in a hospital bed. However, the show must go on as Aliskerov will now step in a short notice and go ahead with the Aussie superstar. The Russian middleweight contender comes into the context of the back of a TKO victory against Wally Alves at the UFC 294 last October. Meanwhile, Adesanya emerged victorious in the first encounter, winning via knockout in 2019 to win the middleweight strap. The rematch was a little closer, but the New Zealand went on 2-0 in series, beating the Reaper via decision. Whittaker comes into the clash with Aliskerov off the back of a sleek victory against Paulo Costa earlier this year, as he got back in the win column following his defeat to the current middleweight champion Dricus du Plessis last year. All right, we're still looking forward to Adesanya's fight, but looking at other fighters and in this fight, a fighter coming in within a short notice, is there a possibility of an upset?
An upset now, this MMA fights now, the UFC is mixed martial arts, so everything goes. So it's going to take just one knockout punch and then it's nights out for anybody. So the thing here is upsets gets pulled every day whenever there's a fight within the UFC. So for those just coming out now, Whittaker just coming out off the back of a win, he's highly motivated. He has that energy, enthusiasm that yes, I just want to fight and I'm going to do it again. Israel Adesanya, on the other hand, now is someone who has been out for a while and getting himself ready. So will we see an upset? I think we might be seeing an upset, because if you put your guards down, then you just get ready for what happens, because in the UFC, it just takes a split second for you to just go night out, and it might happen, but I don't think it's going to happen with Israel Adesanya, because he's very technical, he keeps his distance, and he's strategic.
All right, let's look forward to Adesanya's first fight. Meanwhile, Whittaker will be battling out with Aliskerov in their own fight, and being someone who's just upcoming star, something might just happen. All right, let's take you to the Euros and talk about the Titan Army. Talking about Scotland, the Titan Army had amassed on the steps of Cologne's monumental cathedral by lunchtime, belting out "No Scotland, no party." The joke being there was no point heading into the vast place to pray because it wasn't big enough for the help to help the country needed. The sun came out as they drifted out towards the stadium and up to the stadium, and long before the kickoff approached, fans were getting all set. Looking at Scotland being able to get a 1-1 draw yesterday, did them lots of good. It means there's still a chance.
Is it a live program?
There's still a chance that they would be getting a shot at the tournament Euros. They're not completely out after losing the first game against Germany by 5 goals to 1. And getting a draw against Albania, there's still hope for them.
There's still hope for them. It shows that they have just 2 points and then 2 goals. But there's still hope for them if they can get to secure the next win. That means now they'll be left with 5 goals, and then probably they'll now look at goal differences. But for Scotland now, they are not giving up. They are fighting, and then they were able to. They got their second goal in late in the second half, which shows that these guys are resilient and they are not just going to back down like that. So, like we always say on this program, that no team should be underrated in the Euros. That is what you get, despite the fact that they did not get their synergy, their chemistry earlier in the first game, and then Germany were able to secure and then win 5-1. So now that they are finding their feet, the next game now is actually going to be different. They might come off with a very big upset and then secure a win for themselves and then advance to the round of 16.
All right, wishing the Titan Armies the very best. Let's go to the Three Lions. Talking about England, where England head coach Gareth Southgate has told his players to block out the noise as he prepares to keep faith with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Phil Foden against Denmark on Thursday night. That's tonight. Southgate's side have faced criticism from ex-players and pundits. That's why winning their first game of the Euro 2024 versus Serbia last weekend. Alexander-Arnold, unfamiliar role in midfield, and Foden's performance have both been under the spotlight in the aftermath of Sunday's victory. But speaking here in Germany ahead of their second Group C encounter on Thursday night, Southgate said there were going to be a narrative over the player and a couple of players after every England game. That's true, but shouldn't it also be a motivation for Phil Foden, Alexander-Arnold, because these are ex-players who have been there, done that, so they have the experience, they know what they're talking about, and so if they make comments, shouldn't the coach and the players take the positive from the comment and use it as a motivation to deliver the goods against Denmark, who's going to be more tactical and definitely a more very dangerous side than the Serbian team?
Yes, there will be. Denmark are actually very, they have the size, they are strong, and it's going to be technical, and then it's not going to be a walk in the park for them. You know, like you said, they should take it as a motivation. Jude Bellingham has been there in the biggest stage, and then, had a whole lot of criticism that, didn't even hold him back. Foden has been there, Alexander has been there, Declan Rice has been there. So this place, Harry Kane as well has been there. So this shouldn't be something that they are new to. They are not new to this. So him advising them to silence and then not pay attention to those criticisms, that's fine from a coach. But the players now are professionals. They should be able to manage situations like that, maintain their cool, and as well get to perform properly as a world star players that they are, and then try to secure the win for their people. They should take it as a motivation to silence people, just like when Jude Bellingham did when he scored the first goal. He was saying, yes, keep talking, when he was celebrating, keep talking, and then I'll keep doing my job and be scoring goals, creating plays for myself and my teammates. So with that motivation now, if you talk, there's no problem. Whether you talk or you don't talk, I'll still come and perform and give my team the win. So I feel Jude Bellingham, for one, is taking that as a motivation to keep going, and then the others too should follow suit.
All right, in as much as I go with you on that, let's also look at the flip side of Gareth Southgate, if he decides to play Foden alongside Alexander Arnold in the midfield again, even when they did not live up to the billings in the first game against Serbia, would he be taking a very dangerous risk? Because we all know that Alexander Arnold is not a complete midfielder. He has always played from the defense in Liverpool, though he's got potentials in the midfield. But is this the right time to gamble on that? And would it backfire on Gareth Southgate if it backfires, that he chose to just experiment during the tournament proper rather than
doing that in different leagues?
Before, yes.
I would advise, because this team you're facing now is Denmark. Denmark are very strong. I would advise he just starts. He plays Alexander Arnold. If he's going to be starting him, he should just play him in the natural position that he plays, which is playing from the number 2 position, which is right back. So if he plays from that, he's sure of having his defense very, very locked, and then have Declan Rice and the others in the midfield. I feel that's going to play out well, and then play Foden in his natural position, and as well bring in Palmer too at some point, because Saka didn't get to perform properly as we expected. Foden wasn't so much, probably because of the position where he was playing, which is in the midfield. So all of these players didn't get to show their skills that much because they were not playing in their natural position. So I would advise in his game tonight against Denmark, he should play these players in their natural positions, because at the end of the day, if he doesn't do that, they are going to struggle and they might win. If he had played these players in their natural positions in the former game, they might have scored probably more than just one goal. But the way it was, they found it hard to find chemistry and give those crucial passes, and then it just looked as if it was only Jude Bellingham that was doing the whole job, giving the passes, making the runs, because he was playing in the natural position that he plays in with Real Madrid. So if Foden and Alexander Arnold will play in his normal right back position, and Foden playing in his number 7 position, I feel they would be more dangerous, and then Denmark will have a long night for themselves if he plays them in that normal position that they usually play at.
All right, this is going to be a great gamble for Gareth Southgate as he edges closer to wanting to make history with the 3 Lions of England. It's been so long a time when England won a trophy, and that's what they're gaining for. But it's going to be a very tricky tie against the Danes tonight in Germany. All right, let's just to move on to other talking points as we look at what's playing out in terms of Germany. But let's also let you know that 2 thoughts are gaining traction with each game Germany play out this tournament. One is that they are shaping into the favorite, and the other concerns the identities of whichever daft souls allowed Jamal Musiala to get away from English football. That's what the British press is saying this morning. What a wonderful player, and what an enduring source of regret for England that they switched allegiance 4 years ago. It is pointless to seek wisdom after the event, but Julian Nagelsmann, Bayern Munich, and all of Germany most truly love the squirming of England as Musiala's place of birth, and came the latest installment with the strike against Scotland on Friday, followed and another against Hungary before made a decisive contribution in the second and finished by Ike Gundogan. 2 thoughts are glaring and getting traction with each game. And Musiala had played for England, had the chance to play for England. But England, technically, I guess probably lost faith in him too early. And he decided to play for Germany. And Germany must be happy, like the GM said this morning. When he defeats them, they pay us. England is paying England because they let him go. And Germany, they switch them.
Because look at the England squad now. England have this thing of saying they have a whole lot of star players that they tend to steal.
And I think England is good as poaching
people's players from Ghana, from Nigeria. Mostly Ghana and Nigeria, if you look at it very well.
But he has gone south.
He has gone south for them to Germany. So Musiala was actually picking up, when he was on the 20 team of England. But I think they tend to kind of lost faith in him early, and then they dropped him. So now, you dropped him, and what is good for the goons is good for the gender. How do they say that? I know you know how they say that. So, so Germans now are having the last laugh. They're having a good laugh now because
Obviously.
he contributed and then scored the goal, and then also contributed for Gondwana to score. So this is someone that they need to that they are looking out for, and I'm sure if Germany and England get to face off in this tournament, it's going to be a night. It's probably going to be the final before the finals.
Okay, for Germany, in as much as yes, they're winning thus far, and their coach is a young star, a young coach, and placing hope on the young players. But can we truly say the German team can beat the Three Lions if they truly mean? Because the Three Lions are also a very fantastic side, even though probably they've not kicked into gear fully. But a Three Lions team, the way it's set up, is there a guarantee the German machines can beat the Three Lions?
It's going to be a tough one, even if there will be any beatings. It's just going to be probably 1-0 or 2-1 or a 1-1 draw or a goalless draw. Because now, if you're looking for this, if looking at the German team, they've not really been tested that much. The England team hasn't also really been tested that much because you've not played the likes of, Holland or even France or even Spain. Both teams have not been tested superbly. So let's just see what happens in the round of 16, because if these two giants get to meet, I know it's going to be a brawl, and we are going to see an amazing football. It's going to be a beautiful game of football that would be watched because of the two teams and the two qualities that they have. So if these guys tend to meet, like I said earlier, it's either going to be a 2-1, a 1-1, or a goalless draw.
All right, let's see what's going to pan out when the German machines face the Three Lions of England. But let's take you to Liverpool, where the new coach of Liverpool, where they say they never ever walk alone. Arne Slot has spent his first few weeks as Liverpool head boy or head coach by studying not just the matches but training sessions to get a feel for what the playing style and culture of his new team after replacing Jurgen Klopp. Slot replaced the legendary German on a 3-year deal from Feyenoord, where he won an Eredivisie League title and Dutch Cup, and officially started work as Liverpool head coach on June 1st. He spoke publicly for the first time on Wednesday afternoon and said he has already been working hard behind the scenes and is daily contact with sporting director and fellow newcomer Richard Hughes. Looking at this man, how big is the challenge he has to climb? Because Jurgen Klopp has done a lot,
a whole lot,
but he also has done a lot from where he's coming, from Feyenoord in the Dutch league. But do you think technically he's under pressure but not showing it, and the club is being strategic by trying not to put pressure on the new coach?
I think the club, they're trying not to put pressure on the new coach, and he's also, I think, taking it one day at a time. But should he be under pressure, he shouldn't let himself get into that situation. If he gets himself into that situation, then it's going to be a problem for him. If he always have it at the back of his mind that Jurgen Klopp has won 6 trophies and then performed so well, if he always have that in his mind and then he just putting pressure on himself to try and supersede that, then that would be a problem. Of course, he was brought there to supersede the performance of Jurgen Klopp, but he should take it one step at a time, because he said he has been walking behind the scene, watching the match, watching the style of play, and then probably the training sections and all. Probably he's going to have a few players that he would feel to poach from other teams to be able to perform what his own vision and his own style of play. So with the management of Liverpool taking it easy on him and him also just watching behind the scene and taking it one step at a time, I feel that's the best approach, and him not being all over the media and talking about things that he has planned or things that he's going to do. I think that's a very good strategy and a good way to start off, given the fact that the what's it called now? The timetable, the fixtures for the new season is out already. So he should just take it one step at a time and then see how it pans out in the coming months and when Premier League starts properly in August.
Do you think it's a good idea when a coach begins to look at the strategy of the predecessor and the training styles, the playing pattern? Yes, the playing pattern, because you want to not drift completely away. But wouldn't that also affect his mindset, his because every coach has a playing pattern. Every coach has the way of doing things. When he tries to copy Jurgen Klopp, wouldn't that put pressure on him and probably also make him derail? Because not all the players during Jurgen Klopp's era probably would have loved his training style and pattern and all that. So wouldn't that also probably also a sign that and his slot is already going through pressure, him already looking at how Jurgen Klopp was training and playing. Wouldn't that affect him?
I don't think he's watching that for him to be affected. Obviously, he has his own style of play, and Liverpool has their own philosophy of how they want the team to be run, right? So I would love to believe that Jurgen Klopp has been doing that for the past years, all the years that he was there. And then watching that now, I feel he's just going to take out some few things and then infuse some new things of his own and then see how it works. Then he's just going to, I feel he's just, being diplomatic and like, okay, how do you guys do this here? Let me see how you do it. Then I'll take away a few of this and then infuse my own opinion on stuff and then, work with synergy with the players and the style of Liverpool. I feel that's what he's trying to do right now, not technically, trying to copy everything that Jurgen Klopp did during his time there. I think he just wants to pick out a few things, add to his own, and then see how the team is going to move forward.
All right, we're still looking at all the big stories making the rounds. In case you're just joining us, it's Talk Sport. We'll go for a very quick break. When we return from the break, we'll be going back to the Euros, where Croatia played a 2-2 draw with Albania, and Zalko Dalic message to Croatian fans before the game came straight out of Take That songbook, Have a Little Patience. We'll be doing that after this break, so have a little patience.
With every government and introduction of new policies, businesses of all kinds and sizes seize the opportunity to evolve and redefine themselves. Business Point on Global Television is where we follow the money and put the facts and figures right in front of you. Watch Business Point every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. as Kikelamo Okeri tracks all the latest developments across critical sectors. Business Point, this is business.
Get ready for it. Inside Today brings you issues relating to family, peer pressure, drugs, substance abuse, societal and topical issues making rounds. Join Jermaine Manson on Global Television Monday to Thursday and it repeats every Friday. Time 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Don't miss out. All right, welcome back now. The patient has run out, and it's a Zalko Dalic's message to Croatia fans before the game came straight out of the Take That songbook. In case you don't know Take That is a musical group from the UK, and a very beautiful group there. If you try listen to the songs, one of my favorite tracks of Take That is I Want You Back.
No man, that's what you
try listen to that song and it's gonna blow your mind. Meanwhile,
what do you want back though?
Yeah, I won the Super Eagles back. I won the World Cup ticket back. All right, let's move on and tell you that a 3-0 defeat by Spain in their opening game had led to panic setting in some quarters back home in Croatia. Meanwhile, Croatian newspaper Medimosк Novin called on Dalic and his players to wake up. There were no more excuses to be heard, and the stinging editorial read, and for 73 minutes what little patience was left on arrival in Hamburg on Wednesday looks to have evaporated entirely. By the minute 95, Dalic's script looks to have run through, only for Albania to provide a final sting in the tail. Just as Croatia looked to see out an impressive turnaround, Albania opted for a kamikaze football. Formation 4-2-4. Operation score at any cost. At first, they fluffed their lines, swinging and missing inside the penalty area before they eventually. That was painful.
Very, very painful. Playing a draw and getting a goal considered late when you feel that
you're already winning,
we are already winning, and then the second equalizer now comes in. That can be devastating. That's
as good as if you lost the game.
You lost the game, because after the whole effort, it shows as if after everything it was for nothing. So I understand all those feelings, but it happens. That's why the soccer ball, the football game is very, very interesting, and anything can happen at any moment. So that's why you just have to keep going, keep defending, keep attacking.
Like you say, never give up till the end of the whistle.
Yes, till the end of the whistle. So that is what Luka and his squad got to suffer last night.
All right, Luka Modric, if you don't remember him, he plays for Real Madrid, but that seemed to be the old generation, talking about the Croatian team, and very sad. I hope they will be able to qualify, but draw, a loss. Let's see. Miracles do happen, All right, let's take you to Italy, where the big story is concerning one of Manchester United outcasts, and transfer window already open, and teams are searching for players to better their squad. So Lazio has opened talks with Manchester United over a £30 million swap for Mason Greenwood. United are now bracing themselves for other clubs to formalize their interest in Greenwood after the Italian club made their move for the forward. Lazio have a long-standing interest in the striker, who spent last season on loan at Getafe, and have now approached their Old Trafford counterpart over a move with this summer. Talks have been developing positively over an initial £30 million fee that could rise with performance-related add-ons, according to well-placed sources. Lazio are not the only club interested in Greenwood. We see that our rivals, Juventus and Napoli, among clubs also keen in this left-footed wonder boy. For me, I still feel like Manchester United is making a bad decision deciding to sell Mason Greenwood.
I don't even know the basics at why they are selling
because of the rape saga, which the lady later on withdrew. Is married to Grayson Wood. They have a daughter. So I'm wondering, okay, the woman who accused him is married to him, and they have a child. They've moved on. Why would Manchester United not do the same?
There's something they always say: fear who no fear woman. So,
so where are you coming from? Because
she withdrew. You attacked this person now, trying to almost end his career, because he was out for a very long time. The national team dropped him. Yeah. Manchester United at some point dropped him. He wasn't even coming out to the bench even. Before he now started joining them and training. From training, he got shipped off to Spain. Now, okay, these guys don't have now hands off after she withdrew the whole case of the rape and all of that. Now, I don't know the basics why Erik Ten Hag don't want him on his team, because if he wants him, he's going to find a way.
Really wanted him, but the question is that there's this women groups in the UK we say that if Manchester United do as much as bring him back into the fold, they were going to keep protesting. And you know what he means. They don't want that sad image for the reputation.
But he's married to this woman.
That's the funny part of the deal.
But he's married to this woman.
I think the woman hasn't done. Probably the girl would have done more. Come out, speak up, probably talk to the female group to say, known. This was what played out and all that.
Oh.
Probably that would have helped Mason Greenwood's case.
Maybe in that light, but for Lazio now, they are going for a very, very good player. You know, Mason Greenwood is still young and he's still in his prime. He had a very awesome performance. He had an awesome performance with Getafe last season. So if they can land him, I think he's going to fit in well, because Lazio now is coming up and then they are restructuring and building. So they are becoming a force to reckon with in the Serie A league. So I feel if they can be able to do that, clubs like Napoli as well, again, reaching out for him, because one, now that Victor Osimhen will be going out, they'll be looking for more firepowers for the attacking force. So because Victor Osimhen does a lot of work in Napoli, now they want Lukaku, and if they can land Lukaku and land Mason Greenwood again, these guys are very swift, they are fast, they are strong. So it might fit in well for them. And then probably in the Champions League or Europa League, if Napoli gets to face Manchester United, maybe Greenwood will make them pay.
All right, Mason Greenwood is one player that reminds you of Robin Van Persie.
True.
He's got a wonderful sweet left foot, like Van Persie, very precise, ferocious. He's got amazing quick feet, dribbles really fine, and I think he should stay put at United, but United know better. But for Lazio or the Old Lady of Turin, which club is better? Talking about Juventus or Lazio?
You know, I would say, I would even say Napoli. I would even say Napoli because he has pace. I'm looking at the style of play now.
Yeah.
He has pace, and with that, I think he's going to fit in more with Napoli because of the counter attack. They can just, Napoli from behind, they can just send the ball forward for you, and then you take off. If you notice, that's the kind of play Victor Osimhen likes, and then he would go battle with the defender, get the ball from the defender, and score. So Mason Greenwood almost plays like that because he has the pace, and the moment he's coming down that right flank, then don't worry, watch out for the far right angle. That's where he's going to put out the ball. So if it pans out well for him for Napoli, I think he's going to fit in well in Napoli.
All right, let's move on to other big stories. Still talking United news. Manchester United pursuits for Nice defender Jean-Claire Todibo is currently off due to the two clubs' shared ownership. According to a new report, United, who recently decided to retain Erik ten Hag as manager after conducting a wide sweeping end-of-season review, are determined to recruit a new centre-back to Debo is believed to have featured prominently on their shortlist of targets, but a deal now appears all but impossible this summer as a result of their UEFA rule book. And Ineos, led by Sir Jim Ratcliffe, hold a stake in United and Nice, complicating their participation in European football and transfer between both clubs. And although the two sides are being permitted to take part in Europa League next campaign, it appears they have been denied the opportunity to conduct a deal. And moving on quickly, for the want of time, let's tell you that Aston Villa, Chelsea have agreed a deal worth more than £35 million to sell Ian Martin to Aston Villa, the 22-year-old left-back who spent a second half of last season on loan at Borussia Dortmund, will now only need to finalize personal terms to secure the transfer. Martin had £35 million release clause in his Chelsea contract, which Borussia Dortmund had been reluctant to meet in full. That opened the door for others, with Aston Villa believed to have agreed to pay slightly more than that fee in order to secure a more suitable payment schedule. All right, Chelsea seem to be doing everything right, and Chelsea is also in talk with John Durham from Villa, though they are known to have several striker targets on the potential shortlist. They've got Samu Omorodion and Bournemouth Dominic Solanke. Who is best for Chelsea?
I'll go for Sam Omorodion because he's young and they can build a squad around him. He's strong, young, athletic, and then very, very, aggressive when it comes to attacking with the ball. He can put the ball on the ground, he can drive with it, he can dribble, and then he can also score goals. So Solanke is also good.
And he
has more experience. He has more experience. So if Chelsea is looking for a player they can use and build a squad around in the long run, I know they will be going for Samuel Omorodion. But if it's for experience and someone that has been in the Premier League with more experience and more advanced agility, I think they would now go for Solanke. But for Chelsea now and Dortmund trying to sell off Ivan Martins, I feel if you are not making the runs, just like Arsenal not willing to pay, at the end of the day, someone else will just come pay a little bit higher and then sweep the player if he has the qualities. Well, I don't know. Chelsea are meant to, retain this guy because, one, he's really good. He performed excellently well in the UEFA Champions League, and throughout the run all through to the season he was amazing. So I feel they should find a way to land him back in Chelsea, because we need that firepower.
Besides, you're going to be selling Jackson
to Babin's shops. Yes. So
all right. All right, let's just wrap up the program. A very quick one, just to let you know that Mbappe has been pictured training wearing bandages on his nose after his gruesome injury during France's Euro 2024 opener against Austria. The superstar was forced off after breaking his nose during the collision with Kelvin Danso on Monday night. But thank God, Kylian Mbappe is now back training, and so that's good news for the French national team and for his fans across board. All right, so that's how we're going to call it a wrap on today's edition of the program Talk Sport on Global Television. I must say a big thank you to my partner in Talking Sport. He's not a person, but the man with the brown sugar jack.
Cappuccino.
All right, so my name is Anthony Momodu, the King of Sports, saying good morning.
Good morning.